if you were watching this the day that this video was published, then I was supposed to be back in Vancouver. Probably napping to recover from all the travel. Or maybe not, because I'm pretty sure the mere aspect of whale watching tomorrow would have had me running on adrenaline fumes alone. But alas, I'm still here on this red couch, filled with coffee and going stir crazy. Then what better time than now to share my Wanderlust bucket list, am I right? I figured since I can't hop on a plane and fly to a different country right now, we could chat about the countries that are pretty high on my list. And honestly, this list could have gone on and on, but I'll keep it around like 12-ish places, and they aren't in any particular order except for number 1. So let's get started. When I first decided that I wanted to do this video back when I only had one channel, London was at the top of the list and had been since I was 6, and did a stint at camp for a week with British camp counselors, came back with an accent. It's a whole story. And I mean, technically, I guess it still should be, since I was sick and only left our hotel room to walk around the corner and go to the O2 while we were there. Technicalities. But staying within the UK, I'm hoping to visit Scotland in the near future. Looking at you, 2021, please don't do me dirty. Of course, I want to visit Loch Ness and the Highlands, and since I'm writing a book involving royalty, I think visiting as many castles as possible is a necessity, you know, research. Also, I recently found out that Harry Styles, whatever, Adore You music video was filmed in Berwickshire, so I have to visit real life Aroda. Duh. We all know of my love of France by now, so of course I have to one day hop on a plane and live out my passport to Paris dream. Of course I want to do the huge things: Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, a trip to Versailles, but I also want to do like a picnic beside the Seine, take a tour of the catacombs, and visit Shakespeare and Company. Top of my list. Pick up some French books, eat some French bread, dream of eating and drinking my way through Italy, pasta, gelato, and so much wine. My mom is obsessed with Tuscany, so I'd love for us to get our I Love Lucy on and make some wine with our toesies. So the next few count as one. Now, I've already mentioned that I'm supposed to be in Canada, Vancouver, so let's zoom to the other coast. I want to visit Montreal, probably in the fall. I also heard that they have pretty good bagels, so I would like to be the judge of that. Moving even farther east, I've wanted to visit Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island for as long as I can remember. I'm really big on visiting locations that my favorite books and movies take place in, and in the case of my favorite movies, that are filmed in, so I want to see real life Avonlea before I die. Ooh. I've also recently really fallen in love with Banff. Absolutely stunning, and I'd love to spend a One Tree week up there. Okay, let me take a sip. Elephants are some of my favorite animals in the whole wide world, right up there with whales. You send me a video of some elephants, I will 100% burst into tears. One of my biggest dreams is to visit, I'll try to pronounce this, Udawalawe National Park in Sri Lanka, and go on an elephant safari. Just the thought makes me all teary. Whew. I think I'm going to start planning for when I finally finish the novel as like a celebratory I did it trip next. As a kid, I was completely obsessed with ancient Egypt and also the mummy, but that is once again a conversation for another day. So one day I want to visit the pyramids and cruise down the Nile, do the whole shebang. Staying in Africa and going back to my love of animals, I desperately want to visit Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya. Also, staying in Africa, want to visit the penguins in South Africa, Boulders Beach to be exact. There's so much I want to do in South Africa, but penguins. I once saw the most beautiful sunrise ever flying over Iceland, and now I'm desperate to go back and see it from the ground. And while I'm there, speaking of beauty in the sky. I'd also love to see the northern lights. That's actually really high on my life goals list, not just in Iceland. I like to go to Alaska also. Another option for my celebratory post-novel trip is to stay in a bungalow over the gorgeous French Polynesian waters. I'm thinking Bora Bora, but Tahiti would also be amazing. I'm not picky. I just want to dip in the lagoon, you feel, and just live my best life. I deserve it. I deserve this. All right, we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Costa Rica. Costa Rica. Costa Rica. I can't even pinpoint. I can't even pinpoint just one thing I want to do. I want to experience it all. I want to zip line. I want to see waterfalls and sloths. I'm really into nature, if you couldn't tell by this list. I'm really thinking Costa Rica needs to be my next international trip. I'm just putting that out there. And now we move to number 1 on this list. The dream of all travel dreams. The most stunning otherworldly place on this planet, New Zealand. Y'all. Ooh. Everything I've ever seen of New Zealand is just unreal. Now, to be specific, remember how I said that I'm really into visiting the filming locations of my favorite movies? Yeah, I've been planning a Narnia trip basically since the first time I saw The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when I was 14. Now in the long run, this trip extends past New Zealand because Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian were also filmed in Prague and Slovenia, I think in Poland also, but the bulk of it was in New Zealand, so that's where the bulk of this happens for me. So I want to lie down in the middle of Flock Hill and visit the Elephant Rocks in Waitaki Valley. I also want to run out of Cathedral Cove into the beautiful water and sail down that unbelievable river that Trumpkin sails the 7 seas down when they first return to Narnia. Do you know what I'm talking about? Only real ones know what I'm talking about. Whew. So there we have it. Some of the places and experiences on my current Wanderlust bucket list. What are some of yours? Let me know in the comments. I have a similar list for my US travel bucket list, and I'll hopefully get around to filming that sometime in the near future, you know, if you want. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed me trying to cope with not being able to travel by going over some of the places I'd rather be right now, give this a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you'll know when a new video goes up, and you'll know as I work my way through this list, because I will document it here most likely. All right, I'll see y'all soon, and ciao.